All right. Thank you for putting your information in the chat because at the end, we're going to have lots of time to talk with each other. So I'm going to skip past intros for now and jump in because I really, really want to give us time to play with some of these tools and see if any of this could potentially be something we want to use in our future classroom. Our future classrooms. We're already in one now. I'm Casey Johnson. I'm at the Overland Park campus, and I'm everywhere. I'm with the School of Education, so my world is not in any way relegated to one place, but instead just at trying to support all of our education majors at all of our different campuses. Oh, Jen's coming in. Yay. So today we've got our technology tools and tricks. Not everything is going to land for your world, and that's okay. The hope is that you walk away with maybe 2 or 3 things you're like, hey, I can use that. This is going to work. So to begin with, of course, we're going to use technology. You are welcome to grab your phone and scan this QR code. It works on your phone, great. If you'd rather go open another window, go to menti.com and it's going to ask for this code 6144594. Don't worry, I'll have it up here on the screen in just a minute, and that code will also be there. Somebody give me a thumbs up or a nod when you are in. Good, thank you for that thumbs up. So I'm going to go ahead. I got to change over screens here. Hi, Jen. So glad to have you, darling. All right, share screen again. I love technology, but sometimes I'm not super great at it. Okay, you have 4 questions in here. What's your feeling about technology, tools, and teaching? Specifically, your part in teaching. Pick one of those. Please go ahead and enter it in. Let's see everybody's results as we go. There is no right or wrong answer here. This is just making sure that we have an idea. All right. I have 6 of you on here. I've had 4 of you respond. So you see this little number here at the bottom. I'm waiting on my other 2. If you have trouble, unmute and let me know. Got it? We just had a new one join us. So welcome, welcome. We are filling out a Mentimeter. And so if you need to, you can go to menti.com and use this code right here to get in. I'll go ahead to the next one. So everybody thinks it's essential. That's great. Someone said something. What'd you say?
I couldn't use the QR code because I couldn't find the app fast enough on my phone. So now I'm trying to get on with the website.
Sorry, you're good. You're good. It should have just taken you straight to that sign and not made you get the app. So sorry about that. All right, good. We've got 5. We all said it's essential. Well, that's glorious. Okay, here we go. This is much more positive than I thought it was going to be. Here's our next one. What do you feel about technology, tools, and learning? The other one was teaching. This one is about learning. This is from your student's perspective. All right, we got 5 of you there, so I'm going to go on. I love that nobody sees it as a distraction. That's fantastic. We're all very positive here in this group. All right, last 2. How about your feeling when it comes to assessment? How we assess learning, how we assess our students. Right? Let's get one more. You can be honest. Sometimes it makes things easier. I like that middle of the road. Hey, we got 6 of us. That's wonderful. All right, last one. Think about your classes and the content you use. Listen, do not think about the platform in which the content is delivered. If you teach online, of course, that's 100% tech, that's online. Think about the actual content and how it is utilized, interacted with, and used for instruction and assessment in your class. Some people are going to be really low, some people are going to be high, some people are going to be in between. Let's see where we are. Good. All right, fantastic. Oh, we got a split, half and half. Okay, absolutely wonderful. So this tool is called Mentimeter. Somebody unmute and tell me some positives of using this tool with undergraduates or graduate students. What characteristics of it are probably a good thing?
easy with the QR code, and they like their phones.
They do love those phones. What else? Good.
Real-time
It's
results.
anonymous for them.
Anonymous. Nobody's going to be embarrassed. Everybody can give their answer. And if I don't know the answer, can I see someone else's and grab it? Oh, yeah, I can. All right. The great part about Mentimeter is I use it as a tool to survey you. They also have word clouds. They also have flows that you can make connections with things. I love doing a word cloud at the end of a lesson so that I can ask them, what's one word, one concept from our time together today that you are going to take with you? Listen, the kid in the back who is half asleep most of the time, which, by the way, I would never let happen because I make them wake up. But if I was losing them, what do they get at the end of class? A review of everything we just talked about by seeing their peers remembering things. And we know that that information is going to be solidified in their mind a little better because they shared it out with other people. So that's our first tool for today. Now we're going to dive in. Here's our goal. We're going to discover some things. We're going to evaluate them with some honest eyes. It's okay if things don't work. I didn't make any of this up. You are not offending me. And then we're going to collaborate together a little bit to be like, how would you use it? How would you use it? What would work out? I love that we have a small group. Everybody's going to get a chance to talk. I'm going to end a little early today so we have time to do that because I have a lot of tools to share with you. So the idea is we're going to take a piece of the technology pie. How can technology assist us in planning our classes, in implementing technology into our teaching and content, and ensure that technology helps our students to become a little more engaged? I don't know about you, but it seems really difficult to sometimes get kids to just engage with us, especially with online teaching. It can seem so transactional instead of transformative, and we want education to be transformative. All right. I do want to share really quickly. If you haven't read The Coddling of the American Mind, you need to read it. It's all about higher education and what technology has done. His second book, I just finished, The Anxious Generation, How the Great Rewiring of Childhood is Causing an Epidemic of Mental Illness. Every one of us need to read this book because the students in our classroom, their childhood was rewired. He talks about how it went from play-based to phone-based and what that did to their ability to take chances, to take risks, to not be afraid to fail. Oh, friends, this one, you may not agree with everything in it. That's fine. Hey, he's an atheist. So if that bothers you, don't read it. I don't care who somebody prays to when they've got good research and they've got good findings. This is what we're doing. And what you're seeing is a lot of high schools going to no phones because technology has gotten in the way of how teachers plan, how education is implemented, and how the students engage. It is a real life issue for sure. Title again, please. Yes. The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, H-A-I-D-T. Haidt? Haidt? I don't know. And yes, Dr. Devaney, I will be sending out a list of all the beautiful things we're going to talk. I love where your head's at. Here we go. But first, research. Nobody can say technology will 100% guarantee a positive correlation between like teaching and learning. I mean, okay, what do? We put smart boards in every classroom. Ooh, you can touch it and it moves and you can circle with it. Did that have any impact on students' test scores or their ability to understand information? No. Technology is only a tool, and how we use it is what is the essential part that a lot of people miss. But if we remember that how students learn and how learning occurs, maybe we can gain a better lens by which to evaluate and utilize technology. So there's a group called National Training Laboratory. I love them. They do great work. They have lots of research if you ever want to get into it. They have an Institute of Applied Behavioral Science, and this is their learning pyramid, kind of. It's taken from that. But I want you to look at the learning, active versus passive, the auditory bringing in of information versus the visual versus the kinesthetic, the movement. All right, get down to the bottom of our little retention rates here. It is not sitting and getting, friends. It is not even really discussing with each other. It's teaching each other. It's practicing and doing it. And sometimes technology is a really great tool to ensure we get that 75 to 90% rate. In education, we talk about what we're going to teach and how we're going to teach it using Bloom's taxonomy. For a lot of subject area experts, this may be new information. So I just want to make sure you have it. Don't have to be an expert in it at all, but we also say in our classrooms, Maslow before Bloom. So everybody knows Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You've got the physiological, safety, love and belonging, self-actualization, esteem stuff at the very top. If I'm hungry, if I'm tired, if I'm stressed, if I'm afraid, I am not at a place of learning. My affective filter is very, very high. So we want to make sure that we're thinking about our students as individuals, not just tech nerds who are ready to engage in the 21st century, but then also that we're looking at these verbs and determining with the technology, how do I want this technology to work? Do I want it to help the students gain knowledge? Do I want it to help them analyze the information? Do I want them to evaluate, to apply, do you see the difference? You'll notice in the top of the little bulb is that higher order thinking skills. You really got to know your stuff to fulfill those verbs at the top. And I want to challenge all of us at Ottawa to start thinking about our objectives in a more active way of what I want technology and my students to partner together to be able to do. Plus, technology helps engage different kinds of intelligences and interests. So look at this real quick. Somebody pop out and tell me which intelligence or smart are you? Which one do you align with the best, your strengths and interests? Come on, somebody real quick. We got to hurry.
An easy one for me would be naturalist, I guess, nature. I'm a biology
Beautiful.
professor, so
Love it. And uh, if you don't want to answer that, which one of these would be most difficult for you to connect with in the way of the students in your classroom? For me, it's the naturalist. No offense at all, Paul, but I just don't get it. And you math people, you amaze me, but I can't talk to you for very long because you overwhelm me and it frustrates me because I can't track. Well, if you look at this and you think about your students falling into multiple ones of these, remember, we never say that Gardner or Gardner never meant to say that we only fulfill one of these. We have elements of all of these within ourselves, within our psyche, and within our makeup. But we want to make sure we're providing learning opportunities and assessments that touch on all of these, not just someone who can mark A, B, C, D, not just someone who can do a fill in the blank quiz. We want to be more interactive, and technology can help us do that. Technology also awakens the creativity within us and within our students. Suddenly, our curriculum that we've been teaching for 15 years becomes a new life. And you're like, this is so much more fun. And guess what? Usually it's a little easier on the teacher as well. This is a study from Wallach and Kogan. They did it in actually 1965, and I haven't been able to find a better longitudinal one, but they studied the interplay of intelligence and creativity in school-age children. Now, this is K-12, but I think it could potentially have a parallel within the university world. So they said that there are 4 basic quadrants and patterns within the students that they found. So they have high intelligence, high creativity. Those kind of kiddos are super flexible. They're focused. They're really confident. But sometimes they need a lot of attention and they can be really disruptive. Then on the other side, you have people who are low intelligence, but they are super creative. Teachers really couldn't come up with a real positive for that one. Those students tend to be really frustrated, lack self-confidence, and they also have disruptive behavior. So that high creativity brought those behavioral issues. Then you've got your low intelligence, low creativity, and they just had intense physical activity or passive retreat. They seem to live in 2 broad ends of the spectrum in how they interacted with the classroom. And those who had high intelligence and low creativity, boy, they were devoted, they had high attention spans, they had high confidence, and there wasn't really a negative for them. So somebody tell me, which one of those do you think K-12 teachers said, that's the key student I want in my classroom? Use the red words to tell me. Somebody take a guess. Which ones do you think they preferred?
High intelligence.
Go high intelligence, low creativity.
Yes, Michelle and Jen, you were both saying it at the same time. They want high intelligence, low creativity, because I do not need to be messing with your attention getting behaviors or you doing passive retreat. I disagree. I would rather have low intelligence, high creativity, so they can help me see outside of the box and challenge me as an instructor to get that information in, or the high intelligence, high creativity. So the warning is, with technology, with creativity, it's gonna get messy. And you're gonna probably find some kids rising to the top who have potentially been kind of wallflowers up to that point. But work through it, keep going. It's going to be worth it. So let's get started. Our first P of PI, planning. We always want to use backward design. We want to think of the assessment, the outcome, the skill at the very end and work our way backward. How do I get you here? I want you to be able to do A, B, or C, or identify the following things, or whatever, fill in the blank. Always backward design. I also want to differentiate. Now that can take on different forms. Maybe I differentiate how I'm doing the lessons within this entire unit that I'm teaching or this concept that I'm trying to get across. Maybe this time I'm jigsawing this out and I'm letting other people do things and then they're teaching the class. Maybe I'm doing 20% lecture and I'm doing 40% of something else. And then I'm making sure that I've got my 40% of them creating something. I'm just differentiating how I do it. I might also differentiate my assessments. I might give kids choices. Hey, I have this expectation. This is not being lowered. This is what you have to accomplish. But how you show me your understanding and your knowledge, that I'm giving you options on. That's where technology can help us. But most importantly, we got to know our audience. That quadrant that we had there, would you be able to kind of articulate within your students that you've worked with for multiple years or after a few weeks? You're a kid that's high intelligence. That's awesome. You're a kid that's high creativity. How do I bring those together in my planning so that neither one walks away going, well, I could have watched that PowerPoint by myself, or I could have taught that better. Nope. We want to make sure that they are so engaged and learning so much that they feel like they own the information. Last thing I did forget to say, if I say a term or do something that you're like, what in the world is that? Please put it in the chat and I'll go back because it's okay. All right, here we go. By the way, we will send this out, so you'll have all of these. Magic School, QR codes, Research Rabbit, Ed Puzzle, ChatGPT, Kahoot. Which one do you want to know about first? Somebody speak up. This is interactive, folks. You don't get to sit there.
I only know about Kahoots. I've seen QR codes, but really haven't used them for anything.
Great.
I was
Thank
gonna
you,
say
darling.
QR codes.
Okay, good. We got 2 for Hi Kitty Cat. So we're going to do QR codes. All right, QR codes, multiple ways to do these. They are free. All you have to do is Google QR code generator. In fact, I will go here and see if it actually does it. Hey, there we go. Any website, any image, any video, anything, you throw the address in here. In fact, I did one here for the form that you're going to fill out at the end. You put it here, it creates the QR code, you download it, you're done. I have used these multiple ways. Also, is it showing you the QR code website? Yes, it changed. Okay, great. Sorry, I never trust that. I've used QR codes as a gallery walk. I will make a QR code for each of the main things that we're doing, whether it's an article we're reading, a video I'm wanting to watch, maybe I'm building background knowledge or I'm getting them experienced in what this thing really looked like from history or how this works, whatever it is. And I put the QR codes up around the room. Then I always have some sort of sheet of paper that the students have to complete. That's not only accountability, it's also keeping them engaged. But when I plan my lesson, QR codes are how I'm going to get out a ton of information without me being the one owning all of it. QR codes are how I take attendance. QR codes are how I make sure that they can fill out a Google form to let me know that they're struggling, that they need me to pray for them, to walk through life with them, to help them with something. QR codes. I had them all over my classroom. You can make a little label for it, throw it in a Word document, and guess what? Every year you pull out those same QR codes when you're teaching that lesson, and you don't have to come up with the documentation again. QR codes, free, easy, quick. All right, Magic School AI. See if I have it up here. Yes. Magic School AI is free. It is amazing. You can write an email. You can take a video off of YouTube and say, summarize this video at an 8th grade vocabulary level and create 3 questions to go with it. Done. It does it immediately. You don't understand how amazing this is. Yes, you can make a worksheet. I hate worksheets. Let me just say it there. That's not work. That's just compliance. But anyway, it's busy sheet. It's not worksheet. But if you need a worksheet, it'll make one for you. Send it to a website. Have it make a worksheet that goes with that website. Make a QR code of that website, and there's your worksheet that you fill out. Unit plan generator. You can do a proofreader for text. You can throw text in and say, will you proofread this and see what's going on? I know ChatGPT gets all the love, but when it comes to education, Magic School AI is really the best one. Project-based learning, YouTube video summarizer. You guys, an IEP generator. If you have a kid that is on ADA accommodations and you need an IEP, but use it. Nobody should be writing IEPs anymore in K-12. AI can do it and it does it better. Of course, we check it, all of those things. Anyway, data table analysis. Text scaffolder, if you have ELLs in your room, if you have kiddos with reading or processing issues, it's a beautiful tool. All right, I'm just going to run down the others because I think I'm talking too much and y'all are doing great tracking, so that's awesome. Research Rabbit. I love Research Rabbit because it will take any scholarly resource and summarize it. So I did a quick little search of, I don't even remember what this grouping was. I think it was like using technology in higher education. These are research-based, actually legitimate sources and studies. You could use Google Scholar for this as well. I like Research Rabbit because I can throw things in a folder and keep them there. I actually found this during my doctoral work, and it helped me keep track of all of my things. All right. Edpuzzle. Anybody used Edpuzzle before? Oh man, I love Edpuzzle. Okay, you got that kid who just can't focus in class, or you've got an online class and you want to know that they're actually watching the videos and things are happening. Put in a link to Edpuzzle. What I love is that you can, there's a million Edpuzzles that are already completed. Somebody give me a subject area, please. Here, I'm gonna help Paul out. We're gonna do biology, and I'm gonna use the filter. I'm gonna do higher education college, save. Okay, got all these videos in here, already done, ready to go for you. You don't have to search on YouTube for them. But here's the great part. Let's look at whatever, macromolecules. Okay, see these little teardrops right here? Those are questions that the students have to answer as they watch. It is literally a built-in quiz. You can even set the settings so that they can't fast forward. They can rewind and watch it again, but they can't skip. You can manipulate any video that is already created here in Edpuzzle. You could even make your own. How many of us make PowerPoint presentations or recordings on Zoom to explain things and do a lecture that we know we need? Those are great tools. Why is it just one way? Why are they sitting and just getting? Why aren't they interacting? Throw that video in Edpuzzle, throw some questions in there and check their learning. And guess what? It's free. Put it with your Google account, and then it scores it for you. And you can print a report for who's actually watched it and done it. So if COVID should hit again, if we have a kid who's absent because they're ill for a long period of time, and we're recording our class times, do you see where I'm going with this? Sitting, teaching our live class, then I throw that recording in Edpuzzle and I put questions in there that the student who is participating virtually can answer so that they are also interacting with things. Real quick, I was going to do this later with implementation and things, but let's go ahead and talk about it now. Do you see any drawbacks or negative things about this? You don't have to answer
Students
now,
have
but
to
think about it.
join to be able to use that. I was just on the website and it looked like it wanted me to sign in. Do
You have to
students
make an
create
account. You have to make an account, attach it to your Google Drive, but it's free. It never charges you anything. And the students don't have to make an account. They just use the link. From what I remember, it's been a minute since I gotta be careful. Let's practice later when we're done with our session and see how it works. We'll send each other videos. But yes, you always have to make an account because it's saving everything to your account, showing you grades and things like that. It's not just interactive. You're creating your own information. If I click on my content, I used this a long time ago. We did a human body system thing in 6th grade for one of my student teachers, and I was helping. It was awesome. So there's Ed Puzzle. Of course, you have Chat GPT, which is great. Remember, we're still talking about planning. We're planning our lessons here, even though it feels a little bit like implementation. Kahoot is one of those that when we plan it, Kahoot can be used in multiple ways. We'll talk about those a little bit. But I want to make sure that we are getting to where we need to be so that it's we're not spending all of our time trying to be creative and reinvent the wheel. We're using tools that are here. So yes. So see this chat within a YouTube video? I love this tool because you get to kind of figure out what's in the video and what works with it and what doesn't before you go. So I'm going to click this for chat. All right, you see it here. So here's my summary of this video. And I want to discuss this video's content. I want to interact with it. I love doing this with students because it makes them critical thinkers about the information they're receiving. I will sometimes give them different roles. I'll say, you're someone who doesn't believe any of this. You're someone who's a conspiracy theorist. You're someone who believes this. You got to put that hat on for a minute. How are you interpreting this YouTube video? Because we know that algorithms tend to drive a lot of people's views of everything, society, politics. We're not telling students how to think. We're helping them be good receivers of information and understand and research things. So maybe we've taught them how to ask good research questions. And so they put in here a question, who actually was interviewed? How many people were interviewed for this? What is this happening? It is a fantastic tool. It's just a little more random maybe than what you would think about. All right. Okay, that's a little freebie, that YouTube. But anyway, here we go. Okay, implementation and engagement. How are we doing so far? We okay? We're halfway through, guys. I know it's a lot, but we're going to get to the end here and just play. Here's the general rule we use in education. I don't care how old your students are, it still works the same. The amount of time that they spend doing the same activity, interacting with the same content, or interacting with you and your peers in the same way should be about the amount of years that they've been on Earth. So if you're working with 18-year-olds, about every 20 minutes, you need to have something change. I don't care if it's a brain break. I don't care if it's everybody get out your thing. We're going to do a quick survey. How are you feeling about the weather today? It could be anything, but about every 20 minutes, you have to do a reset and a pivot. So we want to do a small group activity for 20 minutes. Then we're going to come back to a whole group for about 20, maybe 30 minutes because they can add it. Then we're going to have a 2-minute break, a little brain break, and then we're going to do something else. Please, for the love of everything good in education, do not ask students to sit and listen to you for 45 minutes. That is just wrong. No one wants that. All right. Also, no scribes. No, no, no. Technology is often used to display information so that people can write it down. What am I learning and bringing in while I'm being a scribe and writing? Nothing. Because I'm so worried about writing it down before you change the slide. What is happening? If I have a student in my classroom that has ADA accommodations, has a learning disability, maybe a language deficit, they're a second, third language learner, Why am I asking them to write anything down? I should have the notes there for them with little key elements missing. And that's what they write down so that they're listening, they're processing, and yes, they're accountable for writing some things down, but not everything. We don't make scribes. Cooperative learning is essential. Technology, people say, you know, robots are going to take our jobs, everything else. I don't know, maybe for some of us that could potentially happen, but never will a computer be able to engage in the way that we can engage with each other as I share with you the information I've learned. I hear from you and you teach me. That's what a jigsaw is. I take all the information we need to learn today, all the text we need to read, and I say, you do this part, you do this part, you do this part. I have to train them how to do this. They do not come pre-programmed. They are not robots. I have to teach them how to take the information, figure it all out, and then share it with others. We all come back together. I'm responsible for teaching you my part. You're responsible for teaching me yours. Wow, engagement has gone through the roof. Implementation of the technology has been used to get to the information, and they're sharing that knowledge. Remember that tree at the beginning? Teaching others is 90% of where we get that expertise from. We cannot be holders of all of the information and knowledge. That is not how learning happens. That's how education is structured, but that's not how learning occurs. So here's our kind of last major slide for all the items. It's perfect on time. So I'm going to leave this up here. And what I'm going to ask is that you guys put in the chat which one of these you want to go investigate. And we're going to do a jigsaw right now together. And you are going to have about 10 minutes or so to really get into it and investigate it. You can take a picture of this with your phone. You can write a couple things down, but go ahead in the chat and tell us which one you're doing. It's okay if you want to, a couple of you want to pair up, but there's not many of us. So I would love if we just one person do it. Throw it in the chat. Which one are you going to go learn about? We've already learned about Edpuzzle. Maybe we already know about Canva, but find something that you're like, ooh, I wonder what that is. And if you don't like it, go to something else. Right? Good. Jen's got Quizlet. Somebody else, give me another one. Don't go look at them first, you crazy people. Oh, good. Valerie's got Flix. You're going to have fun. Perfect. Sketch notes. Good. Mind mapping. Michelle, you'll want to look up those actual titles. Coggle, Mind Maple, and Sketchboard. Good. Yeah, do mind mapping too. GimKit is awesome, Paul. Really, really fun. Sketch notes, Patricia, that's more just you're going to discover how to do sketch notes. We good? All right, I'm going to pause the video. You guys can turn off your cameras or whatever else. It's 11:34. I want you back to me at 11:45. 11:45, please and thank you. I'll stay here if you have questions. But I forgot to unpause the recording. I'm sorry, recording people. They've shared wonderful insights. Too bad you weren't here. All right, who else? Anybody else? I'm kidding. Probably just one more and then we'll go on. Good. So the one I want to make sure everybody knows about too is that idea of sketch notes is where they have to actually take paper and pen. I love bringing all the colored pencils out and all the crayons. Kids love that. And they have to make a picture representation of the notes and the lecture that I gave. So they have to show relationship. They draw pictures and bubbles and things. And kids like, I can't draw. I can't either, friend. It is okay. This is just about showing relationship. And last one I want to make sure you look at is Adobe Spark. Please do not miss Adobe Spark. It is so much fun. It is like PowerPoint on like caffeine plus. It is so easy to manipulate. I've made stuff for it when students come into my room and I need them to know what the expectations are. Students can use it to do a presentation, but it allows them to be so creative and use technology they maybe haven't used before. All right, so my challenge for you today is just to think about implementing just one of these things in the first 2 months of school. Sometimes we try to do 2 or 3. and we get overwhelmed and then we just walk away from all of it. And I just don't want that to happen. Instead, let's remember that Bloom's taxonomy, determine what depth of knowledge or level we want them to have, then go find the technology that helps ensure that will occur. All right, it's survey time. It's not really professional development if you don't have a survey. So here is the QR code if you would like to look at that. I will also, hopefully it won't mess up your screen. Yep, it did, but oh well. I will grab the link here and I will put it in the chat. Joanne made it sound like maybe they were sending this out to everyone, but if you do it now, you don't have to do it later, right? Or maybe this is just for this session and that one's going to be for everything. But really appreciate your patience. Thank you for letting me talk at you for a million miles an hour. That is not the way we are supposed to teach. I am not doing good modeling today. But you guys are wonderful. It was nice to meet a couple of you that I haven't met before. Everybody got it? We're good. QR code. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. Look at us. 2 minutes early. I'm going to stay here. If anybody has a question or wants to explore something else, I can share my screen and show you how I use it, what I do. And then everybody start back at 12 at the next sessions that you've decided to attend. Have a wonderful day.